Hello everybody! Today we're going to be taking a look at finding the area of a rectangle still, but this time no grid lines. So we're going to move away from those arrays and drawing in all the lines, and we're just going to be taking a look at some straightforward rectangles with side lengths or the area being labeled. So let's take a look at our first example. We have learned that to find the area of a rectangle, all we have to do is multiply the length times the width, right? So all we have to do is find the two side lengths, not the opposite ones, but the ones kind of kitty corner to each other, and multiply them together and we will get the area. So if we look at our first rectangle, we would take a look and see that we have a 6 side length times an 8 side length of centimeters. So we're just going to multiply 6 times 8. So again, if you don't know your skip counting of 6s or skip counting of 8s, or you don't know this fact, I'm going to ask you to use some of your strategies today. Use the distributive property to help you. Think about how you want to break up your numbers in ways that make sense to you and that make things easier for you. I feel like I know my 4 facts pretty well, so I'm going to choose this time to break up my 8 into a 4 and a 4. Which means I'm going to have a 6 times 4 plus 6 times 4. And because 4s are just twice as much as 2, I know I can do 6 times 2 is 12, and then double that to get 6 times 4. So I know 6 times 4 is 24. And then I have another 24. And if I add those, I'm going to get 48. So I'm going to take my 48 and make sure I put it back up with my original equation. And I'm not going to forget my units, square centimeters. So I've just discovered by multiplying 6 times 8 that the area of this rectangle is 48 square centimeters. Remember, that means that's how much space that rectangle covers if we were to break it up into all these little squares. So let's take a look at another one. What if we have one that's a lot larger? It's going to still be the same process. I have one side that's 7 and one side that's 10. Now, it looks like it'd be really hard, but it's not, because this one's times 10. And you know, you could just count by 10 7 times, and you may not even have to do that. What is the value of 7 tens? You know 7 tens is 70. So you can say that the area of this rectangle is 70 square centimeters. Easy peasy, right? Multiply your side lengths, you get the area inside. But what happens when we have a missing side length? Uh-oh. We did take a look at this last week, so let's review. We know one side is 3 centimeters, right? And we know in this case that the area is 27 square centimeters. We just don't know how long this side length is. So we can write 2 different equations to go ahead and solve this. We can think of it as 3 times what equals 27, or we can think of it as a division problem. We can say we know the area is 27 square centimeters, and if I divide that by 3, I will get my other side length. Either way is okay for going ahead and solving it. You can do it in either way. Today, when you do your activity, you're going to be asked to write both the multiplication and the division sentence. So recognize how you need to set it up. Remember that for the division, your area will come first. Your larger number will come first, and then you will divide it by a side length. To find this missing side length, for me, the easiest way to go about it is to take the side length I know, in this case 3, and skip count by that number until I get to the area, okay? Apparently I can't highlight over top of my, I didn't realize that, over top of my rectangle, so I'll just circle it, okay? So I'm going to count by 3s, and I'm going to count until I get to 27 to see how many 3s, how many times I have to count by 3 to get to the 27. So I'm just going to put my work here. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. And I know I can stop because I've hit 27, my area. And now I'm just going to go back and count. How many times did I count by threes? Ignore the clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times I counted by threes. So I know that this side length that I'm missing here must be 9 centimeters. So I would say that my multiplication sentence is 3 times 9 equals 27, or 27 divided by 3 equals 9. Okay? Don't forget with your units, this means this is 27 square centimeters. But if I answer it as a division problem with the 9, it's 9 centimeters because it's not an area. We're not talking about the inside, we're just talking about the length. Let's take a look at one more like this. This time, in the first example, we were missing the top side length. This time we're missing the side on the left. Does it make any difference? You're right, it doesn't. As long as we know one side length and we know the area, we can find the other side length. So thinking about how we would write our multiplication sentence, we know one side length is 4 and we don't know the other. We could say something times 4 gives us an area of 32 square centimeters. Okay. If you wanted to write it as 4 times what equals 32 square centimeters, that would be okay. I'm okay with that. It doesn't matter either way. And our division sentence would be our area of 32 divided by the one side length we know, 4, and we'll find our other missing side length. Again, I'm going to skip count by the one side length I know until I hit my area of 32. So I'm going to count 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. Stop, Finn, please. Excuse the dog. And I'm going to see how many times I skip counted by 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've skip counted by 4s 8 times. So I know that this missing side length must be 8 centimeters. And I can fill in my multiplication sentence is 8 times 4 equals 32 square centimeters. Or 4 times 8 equals 32 square centimeters. Or 32 divided by 4 gives me 8 centimeters on the side length. So your job today is to go find either the missing area or the missing side length on the rectangles that are given. And then if there's time, you will do the word problem at the end. Good luck and let me know if you need any